Great morning, everyone. Great morning, everyone. Oh, boy, I'm so excited for this session. It's going to be a good one. I hope you're ready. I know I am really looking forward to this one. Hey, listen, I don't say that every day. I think it's going to be a good one. Listen, everyone, as we get started here, wherever you are in the world right now, thank you for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Truly a global community, truly a community of force, that power, that growth mindset, that power of positivity. You all really, really make me a better person, and I'm grateful for that. So let's take a look at what's going on. Puerto Rico, everyone, good morning over there. Martin, Belgium, Daytona, everybody. Great to see you all. Matthew, me too. Toad, good morning, world. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, I'm excited for this session. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to cover. So let's get into it. Let's start over here, though. It's going to be a different kind of flow this morning. That's okay, because there's some stuff that I want to get into. We're going to start with the S&P 500, though. All right. Now, what's happening in the overnight sessions on the S&P 500? We can see that Asia was bid up a little bit. London made a higher high. In afternoon update, I said that would be the earliest possible entry to take that higher high right there, right after touching the support. And I also said that I'm not taking it. I said, for the record, I will not take it. I want more clarity, especially coming off a couple of good trades. I've learned that, that patience pays over there. And that remains my view over here. However, I have to say it looks a little more inviting. I'm not ready to take it. It looks a little more inviting after making that higher high and then coming back down and testing that support again. You can see we have two touches now of that support. I'm going to pull up the true trend over here. You can see now that we've had 1-2 pullbacks of the entry CCI. Things are neutral again. That's a good place to be. That's a lot better than when we were so overbought, right? Ready for both sides over here, actually. Could I see us breaking down from here? Oh, I think the next couple of weeks, really, we need to be on our toes. I think that we can't get caught in our own heads. We can't have any type of, let's say, we can't have any type of preferences. We got to be ready just to see what the market does and be able to trade that accordingly. Right now, we are still between the consolidation here, between resistance and support since we broke into here. It's all very bullish, but I'm not ready to take a long here on the S&P. That's for sure. And let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, similar situation over here. It's just what? It's consolidating, which after a huge move is entirely bullish. Okay? It's entirely bullish, but it's just exactly that. It's only consolidating. I'm not ready to participate. There are other things that are actually inviting today. Bitcoin being one of them. Bitcoin is actually set up pretty nicely over here. And that looks like a setup that I'm interested in over here. We'll get to that in a second. Just want to finish the equity markets over here. All right. We see so far coming into New York now, right? We see that all the indices are slightly positive, very healthy. What's the big news of the day? The big news. Boris Johnson said that he's not going to, October 15th he bluffed. He said he bluffed. He said that he's not going to stop negotiations now on October 15th and that he's looking for a deal. By the way, the pound is bid on that news. The pound is up almost a 0.75%. Okay, keep note of that. So what is the market saying to me? My view, Jordan's view, and I don't care what my view is. I only matter what the market's pricing in, what the market's telling me. This is all relevant to what's going on right now today. So I'm just going to make a roundabout way to it. The market is telling me that if the UK leaves with a deal, that's going to be better for the pound. See, my whole vision is that if the UK were to leave without a deal, ultimately that would be much better for the pound. But that's not what the market's saying. The market's saying to me right now that if the UK lives with an agreement, pound's going to be bid. Let's look at the Euro Japanese yen. The Euro Japanese yen, the Euro British pound. And you could see over here, this is like, oh no, we're going to have an agreement, or we're working towards an agreement. And which one is bid? It's the pound versus the yen. All right, so that's a signal to pay attention to. All right, so what else? The DXY, Oh, I can't. I'm jumping ahead of myself because I want to get into everything. All right, let me come back to the Dow. Markets are bid. That's because what? One of the risk events of the market, the Brexit. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. It is what it is currently less of a risk event today. Let's say less of a risk event today. Look over here. You have the Dow, and nothing to say over here. The Dow is currently still within this channel. It's pulled back a little bit, but it's just similar to the S&P 500, which is consolidating, similar to the Nasdaq, which is consolidating. The Dow is also here consolidating. What about the Russell? Same thing. Listen, equity markets right now, I think the strongest and best position is simply to stay aside. That's the look on the indexes. A lot of you showed me in yesterday's video when I mentioned around the 19-minute mark that, listen, if you're trading individual stocks, what you should be doing is piggybacking off my analysis on the indexes to trade individual stocks around. Many of you said that's exactly what you've been doing. Right now, when you're talking about individual stocks, right, neutral is the strong position. All right, let's go into it a little bit further. Let's look at the dollar over here. Dollar looks like it's falling back into the channel, right? Dollar looks like it's falling back into the channel. It's still a little fuzzy though. Why do I say that? Well, a large portion of this pressure right now is because of the move on the British pound. The British pound is being repriced this morning. That's weighing here on the DXY. Okay. Now look at the euro US dollar, because this all is like a big puzzle. The euro US dollar here is having trouble into that resistance. So I'm a little bit uncertain when it comes to the DXY, whether or not we've fallen back into this channel, and I'm going to get into this channel in 1 second. Whether or not we've fallen back into this or whether we have, I mean, it's still fuzzy. If the euro is able to regain this resistance over here, is it able to trade above here and get back into its channel, that will be very bearish for the DXY. But if the euro is, this is simple conquering the markets. This is a breakdown of the trend line, a retest into resistance. If it resumes down, then the DXY is probably going to have a bullish tint. So that's how I'm reading the market. I'm trying to factor everything in. I see that I want to know what's going on with the DXY, but I know that it's heavily weighted here towards the price action, what's going on the pound this morning. Euro's not giving that confirmation. It's still fuzzy. By the way, lesson for us all to take a look at and learn from right over here. And here's what I'm going to do. All right. And I'm going to show you the DXY, this channel. Then I'm going to show you gold. And then I'm going to show you palladium so that we can not palladium, platinum, so that we could put it all together. This is just interesting. This is a mental note for future reference. All right. I'm going to clone this line over here. Right. I'm going to clone this line over there. And my eye is only focused right over here. That's where my eye is focused. Now I'm going to show you, this is going to make sense once I take a look at gold and once I took a look at platinum with you. My eye's only focused right over there. And you could see that was the resistance, right? Rightfully so. This is where my channel line is, right? But if I go to where we peaked out, right, you could see that was resistance over there. Okay. Now, the reason I say this is because, and by the way, Chainlink also is a great example of all of that happening over here. This is the line, but this is where we peaked out. Over here it was clearer, right? But look what happened on gold. Let me give you two examples, gold and platinum. On gold over here, this over here. Now we had this as a light line though, not on the DXY. I didn't have it as a light line. Here we were looking at this, right? And it's the same thing. This is the main line over here. This is the clone outer line with just this touch, okay? But later in the week, that's where we peaked out to. Does that look the same exact thing that just happened here? Well, it is the same exact thing. This is for future reference for myself, for you as well, right? Rex, glad you're here, brother. Always here for you. All right, so what else? Just pay attention to what I'm paying attention to over here, okay? By the way, this belongs... Well, I need to have this thick now, right? And as everyone that's following knows why we made this thick right now, right? Because this is what we're paying attention to. This is the new area that I need to clear above for me to feel good about the breakout here on gold. Is that the similar situation now on the DXY? Am I now looking for a break of that outer trend line before I'm looking for a bigger move? Right? Come with me to platinum. Palladium, excuse me, platinum. Watch this upper trend line I have over here, right? I'm going to do a couple of things because it's noisy over here, right? If I clone it once, right? And now I'm focused right here on this point, which is that's a little fuzzy right there, right? I'm going to clone it again. I'm touching up here now. Touching up here. You can see the touch then over there and again right there. And then, so do we have to put another one out here? This is so fuzzy for me. This makes me want to stay away from platinum for a long time, right? There's another one over there. That makes me just want to stay away with seemingly all this resistance out over here on the outside over there. And also not only on the outside over here. Oh, do you see that line just fit in perfect? Do you see that line just fit in perfect? I was trying to put it down over here. So this makes me like, this just makes me want to stay away. This makes me just want to stay away for the near term, right? Anyway, thank you, Kenny. I'm glad I saw that comment of yours. Thank you, brother, very much. I see that. Kips is neutral on platinum. There's the key right there. There's the P. By the way, Kips, let's look at Kips nickel trade, which is probably going to be over the next couple of years a monster of a trade. I'm sure look over here, right? This is when we started tracking it. We just put in this 2 little bit. We're looking on the 3-day here. By the way, I automatically went to the 3-day. How's that for muscle memory in the brain? Look, that beautiful channel. Long-term uptrend. Look, the thesis that Kips brought this to our attention for is because of the fact that we're looking at the turn to electric vehicles. I forgot the year. I don't know if it's 2030 or 2035. I think it's 2035. California has said that all new vehicles and sold need to be electric vehicles. Nickel, cobalt, they're important materials in these electric batteries over here. Nickel has this utility. We saw also that the U.S. government has made an investment into Brazilian mines in order to go ahead and get some type of play into these materials over here. Nickel stood up besides the strong dollar yesterday, and it's extremely bullish. That is a signal that Kips has brought to our attention over and over again. When the dollar's strong, look for what's holding up well. Now, you are coming up or working towards some resistance over there, right? No FOMO. It's a lot safer breaking above this line of resistance to get a new position in, targeting then. We'll do it as that happens. Or you're looking, again, that was a pullback into support. This is a support area you're targeting. Long uptrend, buyback, pullbacks into support. By the way, if you do pull up, we looked at this in the training session yesterday. If you pull up over here, the true trend BTC, which is for long-term trading, right? And then you pull up the true trend, and now I'm going to go back to it. Well, you could just keep it here, right? You don't have to do this on the 3-day time frame. I'm doing it on the I'm going to do it on the 12-hour. All right. When you have the true trend BTC in the uptrend over here, right? Long-term positioning, right? Anytime the entry CCI is pulled back against it, that's where you're looking to position in. Look, that came right back into the support right there. That was the place to come to pick in. Anytime, this is where you position long as the true trend BTC is in the uptrend. And then when you get the pull back against the trend with the normal true trend settings, that's an accumulation phase for longer term trading. This works right now for things that are in long-term bull markets, such as Bitcoin, right? Here's Bitcoin. There's a video on the channel, Bitcoin beginner strategy, where I talk about using the true trend BTC. By the way, it's not a beginner strategy. It's a highly advanced strategy. It's just easy to use. It's just easy to trade. Your mom could trade it, right? I say it's a beginner strategy, but it's probably one of the best Bitcoin accumulation strategies there is. Over here you have on the 12-hour, that's what that strategy is traded off as well with the true trend BTC. You see now, as you're in the bull market here, anytime you come back down on the normal true trend, that's an accumulation period. That's where you're looking to accumulate. Interesting, right? All right, let's just keep going. I don't know if the SPY is ready to consolidate for a few days, but I do know that as of yesterday's session, I said that I've become neutral and I'm just waiting. So, hoping that it consolidates, hoping that it gives me some type of clarity in the future, but closed positions, now waiting and watching, neutral. All right. So, and speaking of Bitcoin, let's look at gold and silver first before we get into Bitcoin this morning. Obviously, you're seeing two things happen this morning. I mean, weird to me, first of all. I'm going to, sometimes things don't make sense to me. And one of them is that you saw yesterday, dollar bid up. That was because of the pressure on the pound. That was because of the pressure on the euro. We looked at that in the afternoon update. But that was because of a risk event, possible falling apart of negotiations between the UK and Europe. Does that have anything to do with the rising cases in Europe? I don't think so. But gold was trading down, and then today you see that that risk event has de-escalated and gold is up. Weird to me. I don't really get that. So again, back to what I do get. That's TA. That's following price, and here we are. We remain the same. I'm still waiting for a breakout. It's now this trend line over here. Does this look bullish to me today? Of course. But I'm not FOMOing in. There was no place to lean in and buy for me, right? I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for a breakout of this outer trend line that will set up a place to begin taking long trades. What about on silver? Same thing. I mean, silver's coming into what is resistance this morning at 24.50. Again, my main case on gold and silver right now is that gold is leading. But Jordan, today silver's outperforming gold. It is, but technically gold is leading. Wait for gold to make the breakout, then silver should, if it's a clean one, will follow suit. Silver above 26 becomes attractive. It is highly volatile to the upside and downside. Be careful. What else that? Let's look at Bitcoin this morning, which is, by the way, looking very bullish over here. This looks like a nice clean setup, whether you're looking actually at the 8-hour or 12-hour. But, let's just talk ourselves through it. We broke out. This is what we were looking for, right? This is when I said, all right, looks like we're getting ready to break out. The next day, we broke out above our trend line over here. We confirmed it above the outer trend line, right? Then we consolidated into a bull flag. We broke out of the bull flag. We did not close above the resistance, but have since consolidated into the top of that bull flag. What was resistance, now support. Resuming out of this now, that looks like a good entry here on Bitcoin. All right, what else do we have this morning? Probably the most action is happening on FX this morning. I do want to check out oil this morning. Bid up this morning, but still as sideways as can be. Does that look like, no, it doesn't look like anything to me. Does that look like a non-ascending wedge? No. All right, oil sideways. What else do we got going on over here, MSN? Hard work gold, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so listen, I'm aware of this trend line over here. ML is pointing this out over here. Like this trend line over here, I think we're looking at boom, right? You're looking at that. Okay? And a lot of traders are. I'm not, because I'm looking at this. Right? It's so I mean, this is what I have been looking at. This is completely in play. This is clean analysis for myself. Is that a valid trend line over there that people are watching? Yeah. Look at that. I would say, I don't, for sure, I'm not, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 points connected. Of course. But that's just not how I roll. You all know how I roll, because the market works in the symmetry that I'm always showing with those clone trend lines. So your way is correct. Hey, TA is an art. It is not a science. It's an art. This is simply the way I display my art. Your look over there, ML, is a great look. It's true. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Anyone cannot deny that, for sure. Not in my view. not trend lines must connect as many points as possible. There are many people who say that trend lines need to at least connect 3 trend. No, not in my view. Because, and I'll even go further, I had this trend line over here, this upper trend line, only connecting 1 point. Before this happened, before we were rejected in there, if you go back on the videos, I had that trend line in there. So listen, look, the truth is, I can't point you to any book. Everything I've learned, I've taught myself. Is it unorthodox? Of course. Does it work? Absolutely. So here we are. Let's go. Let's take a look across the markets. Let me move this over here. Let's start here and let's really go through FX. Let's see what's going on, and then we will figure out over there what is going on. Do I pay attention to the 11-year megaphone channel the S&P is currently at the top of? We showed a video of that on the whatchamacallit, the day before yesterday's afternoon video. Do I pay attention to it? It's so funny. A couple of things are so funny. I saw on my Apple TV a couple of videos popped up, a couple of YouTube thumbnails, and I remember over here. Y'all remember when I said over here that, watch out, that's a bear trap? And then the next day we came back down. I said, oh, maybe that's wrong. And then we came back up again and it was a bear trap. Everyone remembers that. I saw a video, another channel yesterday was saying that this was now a bear trap, but they were calling a bear flag. And I definitely was like, no, that's not a bear flag, right? Then now I also said, going back even further, this is why I'm bringing it up. Over here on the S&P 500, where was it? It was this day right here as we came above, right? Right over here as we came above, I put out a video. I said, possible game changer. Possible game changer. And I said the next 24 hours are crucial. If we then confirm this line over here and resume out of that, that is a game changer. And I said, watch out as we've broken above. The next 24 hours are critical, I put it. Crucial or critical is the word I used because we could fall back in, right? Then I saw on the same, last night, the same video was saying possible game changer coming. It's almost as if like someone's watching the channel. That's my thoughts. All right. So do I think that's a game changer, the megaphone? Listen, it doesn't come into my analysis in the fact that this is my analysis right over here. This is the treasure map. This is provided, how do you say, ultra effective, and this will continue to be. I don't consider the weekly. I don't consider the monthly because is that a head and shoulders developing? I don't know. I think you're crazy if you're trying to pick out a head and shoulders on the S&P. I don't have a decade time preference. I trade on the 8-hour. I'm able to, to do my best, and it's not always easy. And it's never easy, and it's never clear to do my best to stay on the right side of the trade. All right. Thank you, Mr. B. I do appreciate that. 1,400 people in here together. That's enough for me. That's everything. So anyone here who's learning something, anyone who appreciates being here, definitely help me out. Definitely, light up the Google algorithm, show a little love, hit that thumbs up. Do appreciate that very much. All right. Good Rex. Good Kips, because I'm neutral as well, because I have no edge whatsoever. So, and that's coming off, a lot of clarity that we put in, right? We were able to grind it out and work through and get into some good trades. And now it's not. And now it's stay away. All right, let's keep going over here. Again, setup of the day, potential setup of the day if it triggers for me is on Bitcoin. Do I think you should trade Bitcoin? No. By the way, I do have a video. It's coming out. It will come out. There is no rush, but it will be sooner now than later. Maybe even this week, on how I am looking to position and trade the bull phase of the Bitcoin bull market. By the way, after that video, there will be probably a lot of silence on Bitcoin until we get to some 30% pullbacks, drawdowns. Until we get towards the top of the phase, the bull market phase, I will, of course, be letting everyone know how I'm managing that, when I'm exiting. Am I trying to call the top? Nope. 140 is my price target. That's the goal that I want to achieve. Do I think it's possible that we overshoot that by a large factor? Absolutely. I'm not going to exit at 140. I'll exit as price action leads me to believe that it's going to that we're going to exit. I have over here, I'm not going to pull it up now, but I am going to pull it up now, I guess. I have over here an indicator that I will be leaning on, what I believe is going to provide one of the best indicators for getting out. Let me move over here. This is the pi cycle, right? This does not come default on TradingView. I had to subscribe in order to get it. And this indicator over here, right? You can see going back towards the top over here. This indicator going back past cycles gives the best exit signal that I've seen on Bitcoin when you get the cross over here. So I will be relying heavily and looking for that heavily, as well as, I'll know I'm wrong if I get a certain amount of drawdown. A couple of things. George, there's a video on the channel. There's a video on the just go to the playlist on the channel. Go to the Bitcoin playlist, and there's a video that tells when, exactly how I came to that number. It gives the exact math I used to come to that target. But again, I do believe, on the upcycle, definitely looking to possibly overshoot that. The name of the indicator is the pi cycle. Pi cycle. I don't. You just have to subscribe to look into Bitcoin.com. Look into. I believe that if you just search look into Bitcoin, the site will come up. And then all you need to do is there's a subscription there for those indicators, and that's how I have it. All right. Do you use a hedging strategy? I do not use a hedging strategy whatsoever. I don't hedge because I'm taking high probability setups, right? I'm trading, I swing trade on the 8-hour time frame. There's no need to hedge positions. I don't hedge positions. I'm not sure if that's pi or PI. If it's PIE or PI, I think it's PI cycle. I don't know, Mr. B. For sure, those markets are heavily manipulated. I have no idea. For sure, those markets are heavily manipulated. All right, let's keep going over here. Let's take a look at some FX over here. Let's get a feel for what's going on over here. By the way, 477 likes. That's pretty. Thank you all. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Let's take a look. Let's get a feel for what's going on. We're going to go from top to bottom, I think, today. Really kind of get a feel for what's going on. Let me just move this. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, sideways. However, look at this, coming off of support right now. Interesting. I was sleeping on that, right? That's a good buy entry getting away from me. Anyway, let's keep looking. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, Swiss franc. That is really just sideways, right? And not much else to say about it. So interesting though that if we lose this support over here, if we lose that support, that might be opening up the downside. That might be a really good indication that we're seeing the current environment change, which could happen. That would be a risk-off environment. Breakdown here of the Australian dollar, Swiss franc. There's nothing right now saying that it's breaking down, but I am watching this support level over here. And, is it possible we see a huge risk-off event coming in the next few weeks? Oh, yeah, I think so. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. All right, so this is interesting. Why? Look at this, everyone. I need to clean up my chart just one little bit. There we go. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. We're seeing the breakdown here of the ascending wedge. We see the breakdown, the retest, looking for a resumption down. Very good there. That's a good looking setup over there. I like that. Let me unflag all these and reflag them for myself. That's a good one over there. I like it. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Similar situation over there. You're seeing a breakdown of that trend line, a current retest. Would I like a rejection down? I could just tell you right now, out of the two, I like the Australian dollar, Japanese yen better. Don't even to go further. Australian dollar, US dollar, pretty similar. This is kind of like the euro that we just looked at. We're going to look at it in a second. It is why the DXY is showing that it is coming off today. The Australian dollar, US dollar is having trouble at resistance, and the euro US dollar is having trouble at resistance. Those are mixed signals. This is setting up here a rejection, a possible short. By the way, that later then we'll be deciding. I would not take both of them. Which trade I possibly like better. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to say it again. I have no idea. That does not come into my analysis whatsoever of Goldman Sachs. No. I don't consider what Goldman Sachs is doing whatsoever. Goldman Sachs, by the way, is notorious for putting out investment letters to their paying clients and trading against them, right? Believe me, if Goldman Sachs provides you any type of research, it's not for your benefit. It's it's for the squid's benefit, not for yours. Your best bet is not paying attention to Goldman Sachs whatsoever. They're not even in my existence. Goldman Sachs, the only thing that I understand about Goldman Sachs is that they're evil. All right, that's the only part they play into my analysis. So let's keep going over here. I'm going to blow through all these currency pairs and get a good read on FX possible. I see. By the way, my analogy of trading is that you're a surfer sitting on top of your surfboard looking at the horizon. You're looking for when that next set of waves comes in. And then as that set of waves starts rolling in, because trade setups come in groups, you're then looking for which is the best wave that you want to ride. All right, let's go. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. This gave an entry signal the other day. Yeah, right over there. But by the way, we were looking at what? We were looking at Japanese yen giving bearish formations with the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen giving a long entry. The question is, would I take that? The answer is yes. And not only yes, if, for example, the euro Japanese yen was giving a bearish entry signal and the Canadian dollar Japanese yen was giving a bullish buy signal, would I take both those conflicting signals? It has happened twice this year where I've done that. But basically that is what trading is all about: managing risk, right? It's all about risk management. Think of that. You're the casino with the edge over time. Do I expect both of those trades would profit? No, probably not. Is it possible both those trades wind up getting stopped off at break even? Yep. Is it possible both those trades get stopped out for a full max loss? That's my worst case risk scenario. Right? Is it possible that one of those trades will go on to profit normal, risk to reward ratio, and the other gets stopped out for a full loss? Yep, I make good money on that. Is it possible one of those trades gets stopped off at a break even and the other goes off, either for a small gain or it's not? Yeah. So trade what's on your chart. Again, it's a rare time that I would take conflicting signals. Over here, though, this is now trading back below the trend line that I was looking at here as the signal to buy off of, but it's into that support. All right. So where does this begin breaking down? Is it possible that we start seeing the Japanese yen bid, because we're seeing those bearish formations? We're going to get a clearer understanding of them right now as we do our analysis. Right. I'm looking over here to see if there's any other type of guidance, and I don't see it very well. So I'm going to just lean off of this support area over here right now. I don't know what just happened there. So I'm going to be looking at this support as what I'm looking to see if that holds or not. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, Japanese yen. This is when I'm talking about bearish formations. This was an ascending wedge, right? Bearish formation. It's broken down over here. It's not giving me a place for an entry yet. Keep watching this one. I don't need to yellow light it. Maybe tomorrow in our analysis. I'm waiting for a pullback either into the resistance or even up higher. This which was support now should be resistance on the top. Either one of those things would lead to a setup. Otherwise, is it possible this keeps dropping and never gives me an entry? Then I just don't have the entry there, right? But I'm not going to FOMO after it. All right. So, no, Tom. So different brokers. Whoa, let me get off this chart over here. This is just to say to us, by the way, on the euro Australian dollar, that we're just consolidating sideways. This is a massive consolidation pattern. This should lead to a massive move, but I don't know if it's going to be to the upside or downside until it breaks out of there, right? So as that breaks out of there, that could become very interesting for me. Tom, so different brokers have different opening and closing times. They use different server times. Trade what's ever on your chart. By the way, the same support and resistance levels. Go ahead and add them on the daily. Support and resistance is made from market participants around certain levels. You could trade what's on your chart always. Simple. Is BTC breaking technicals to the upside? Right? Again, this morning, this is what I was saying. Bitcoin looks like the trade for me, possibly today. But again, I'm positioned in Bitcoin. Is it breaking technicals to the upside? Andrew, we just gave not too long ago, and I'm going to suggest you just pull back on the stream until you see BTC US dollar, until you see this chart on your screen. We did about a 3-minute overview analysis of Bitcoin, and it was a good one. Watch that for sure. All right. What else? Let's keep going over here. I need to figure out what's going on. We're coming back to, we just looked at the euro, Australian dollar. By the way, I'm going through all of FX right now. After I go through all of FX, then we can look around the market. Jordan, what news channels do I look at? I look at Twitter, and I look at Zero Hedge. If something happens, if right now, for example, I saw a huge price movement, right? If I saw something out of the ordinary, I would then go to forexlive.com to see what happened, because they act as a really good RSS feed. So if something abnormal happens and I want to know what just happened, I'll go to forexlive.com and I usually see right away, right? But I use I read what's going on Zero Hedge, and everything I read, wherever I read it, I take with a grain of salt. I'm always trying to see what the narrative is. How do you say what the propaganda is? Maybe everyone, people publishing things. What's their agenda? What are they trying to get me to believe? Why do they want me to believe that? It doesn't matter where I'm reading it. I'm skeptical of everything. And Twitter also. All right, what else? No, I don't use Bitcoin. So no one. So by the way, this is the best way to trade. This is the best way to trade any market. It's by following price and price alone around the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns in that order. That is price everything. Price is the leading indicator, right? That's what you're looking for. All right. The charts speak everything. I follow the charts, and then I find out afterwards what the news said about it, because that's what's happening. I follow price on the charts, and then afterwards I get to read about what they decided, how they decided to build the story around that. Euro Canadian dollar, look at this. This is giving an entry signal right here, right now, off the support, right? You can see that strong support over there. Why is that strong support? Look at this whole area where it held as support, this whole area where it held as resistance, retest into support, right? Bouncing off it right now. That's giving a buy signal. Do I want any of it? I don't. Yeah, that's how we started off the live stream, talking about what we were seeing happening right there and how that could future affect it. So Euro, Swiss franc. So listen, right now the market is saying to me, if they come out with some type of agreement that's going to benefit the British pound, the British pound will be bid. We could look at the euro British pound in 1 second, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. So why don't I want the euro Canadian dollar? I don't know. I don't. It's just not something I'm looking at. By the way, this looks attractive to me. I like how clean this setup is. Am I being a little bit too how do I say enforcing my will on the market here? Maybe, in the fact that I'm worried, I'm concerned possibly of a risk event coming into the markets. But I see the bearish formations. It's not just what I'm looking at yesterday. It's what I'm looking at Monday. the brain takes all of that into account, and I see the bearish formations, I see the breakout, I see the retest, a resumption down, that I like that setup. So, on the Australian dollar, US dollar, if we have trouble here, crossing that resistance here, or rejection down, that's a similar setup. Which of the two do I like better? That's what I need to figure out. I'm not sure in this moment. Probably the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Is this a setup that someone could take right here? Yeah, that's a setup. You could take that entry. That's, if you take these, let's say, how do you say, if you take this type of setup all year long, you're going to be profitable. No question about it. So, all right, let's keep going. Let me keep going, at least. Euro Swiss franc, again, you see what? Off the support, that support is holding over there. But it is also sideways, and I don't like it. Euro British pound, you can see over here what has changed is that, all right, we're coming into that October 15th deadline. Boris Johnson was bluffing. He's not leaving with a, if no agreement is reached, he's not leaving with a hard no deal. He's waiting, and he's now open, to extending that deadline further. That leads me to believe that if there's an agreement reached, the British pound is going to benefit. How does that affect the dollar, right? Look, you see the dollar down today. If there's no Greek exit and you see the pound come under pressure, also the euro come under pressure, that's going to help be bid for the dollar. But that's near-term noise, I think. I do think that's near-term noise, and that we're going to continue here seeing further dollar weakness. That does not mean that we won't have any type of big counter trend moves on the dollar. Maybe, I don't know how that's going to go. Anyway, let's just follow what's on the charts. All right, let's follow what's on the charts. Nice, Kips. Will the dollar go down, and will it be replaced by the central bank digital token? Mr. B, this is Friday conversation. I saw the question. I have to answer it because I have a strong opinion on it. I've been talking about the central bank digital tokens coming into play for a couple of years now. I've watched all of the misinformation, information coming out of the IMF regarding it. I think that the Federal Reserve is going to institute a digital dollar. I think that the IMF, which has its own agenda, which is trying to release the central bank digital tokens, if at any point the system fails in the future, and if the Federal Reserve of the United States becomes the Lehman, meaning what is sacrificed there at the altar, I think the IMF will come in and save, quote unquote, save the system, introducing the central bank digital tokens. But right now, I think the Federal Reserve is still fighting for their own, and they're going to be introducing the digital dollar before you see the central bank digital tokens take place. My opinion. What else? Euro, Japanese yen. Again, I never had an opportunity here for an entry. So sometimes breakdowns just break down. Sometimes breakouts get away from you. By the way, price is able to climb and then elevator down, right? Here you're seeing that take place, but that does not mean that we're close, that we're really close. Right, CG. Once they introduce the digital dollar, that's when inflation will really take place, because they're going to be what? They're going to be sending people digital dollars directly to their bank accounts, bypassing banks. See, the banks don't need to lend. It doesn't matter. Banks are about to become irrelevant in the future. Banks will cease to exist. All that money that you have in the bank today, by the way, that's just going to be what? That's going to be replaced with a digital dollar. Whatever money you had in the bank, they're replaced with the digital dollar. There's going to be tons of conditions on that, but the banking system will not be the same in the future. You don't believe me? Watch. All right. You've been warned. So here we go. We got Euro Japanese yen. How do I play this? I never had an entry yet since we broke down out of this ascending wedge. I'm still waiting and looking for an entry. What would an entry look like? Look, it's just patience, right? Is it possible that we keep going down into the support? Yep. If that happens, will we get a bounce? Yep. Eventually, right? Could we still wind up getting a bounce over here towards that, resistance level? Yep. Does that mean that that's going to hold? Is it possible that we even come up higher? Yep. I'll be looking here. I'll be looking here. I'll be waiting. And if we come down here, well, then I'm just going to be looking for a resumption up, maybe even over to here. But that trade is not, that's just no FOMO. I'm not going to chase it. I'm going to keep waiting. I see the breakdown, right? So maybe at the end of the week, this is giving a setup. Maybe next week. I don't know. But there's other setups in the markets today. Not many yet, right? We've seen 3, and I bypassed one of them, the Euro Canadian dollar. What about this? This is the Euro New Zealand dollar. This is broken down and is now retesting this broken support as resistance. Is that offering a possible opportunity? Maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna flag it. I'm gonna check it out later, right? A rejection here, a rejection up there. Those are all offering possible opportunities. That's in a longer term downtrend for sure, right? That's sell resistance in the downtrend. We now had that important break of a trend line. That's looking good coming up. Euro, US dollar. We spoke about this one beginning the session over here. In order for me to believe that the DXY is falling back into that channel, is falling back bearish, I need to see us close here above this support, this resistance level, right? And then if we do, I will be a believer. We're more believer in that DXY's move, because mostly that's being priced in today from the big move on the pound, that big move on the DXY. So let's wait and see. I'm not flagging this. Like if we're rejected here, well, maybe, right? And also maybe there. I'm gonna come back to it. I mean, it's not where I'm leaning right now, but maybe. All right, pound Australian dollar. What are we looking at? Boom. One Bitcoin. Oh, he's in the game. Tesla looking good. We'll look at those afterwards. Right now, by the way, what are the markets doing? S&P up 0.5%. Nasdaq lagging. S&P leading today. Gold towards the high of the session, and Bitcoin, right? That's how I started. That's how I started the session. Bitcoin looked like my favorite setup. All right, so here we go. Let's keep going over there. Should we look at the pound pairs? I'm going to look at them really quick. I'm avoiding the pound pairs, and I'm avoiding it because of all this volatility that we are seeing this week, right? Nevertheless, pound Australian dollar sideways, easy. Pound Canadian dollar. Look at that volatility, massive. Nothing to say there. Pound Swiss franc. Look at that volatility. That's why I'm staying away. Massive moves. Pound Japanese yen. All right, this is interesting, by the way, for twofold, right? What happened? Right, breakdown into the first area of support, which is holding, but into the resistance right now. This could go either way. I would have to say that if we break, let me make this even a little neater for myself. If we wind up breaking to the upside over here in the sessions ahead, right? If we wind up breaking out above that trend line after faking, if this is a fake out and get it, that could be ultra bullish for the pound Japanese yen. So I will watch it. However, right now you're into big resistance. Look, you just broke down out of this ascending wedge. You're retesting it now. If this is rejected here, that's setting up a nice shorting opportunity. Okay, you see that? That's the ascending wedge. Breakdown, retest. If you're rejected there, that sets up a good shorting opportunity. But at the end of the day, pound, I'm staying aside. Right? That's all support. Let me clean that up a second. Nothing to say on pound New Zealand dollar. Pound US dollar. All right, let's look at her. This is resistance, by the way. So, I don't really have anything to add to the conversation here. I don't have anything to add to the conversation over there. Just you know, you could see this though, right? Breakout, retest, but I don't have anything to add over there. That's why I'm on the sidelines over there. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, is this setting up a shorting opportunity right here, right now? Right? Listen, if I don't have anything to add to the conversation, I will never say anything. That's one thing. I'm here, to add to the discussion when I believe that I have something of value to add, and I'm not like any type of like oracle, right? Like anyone here, spending our time together, it helps me. The whole idea is that it also helps you, but I'm not any type of oracle. I can't predict the future, right? And so when things are unclear, I've learned over 20 years of being in the markets, that I'll be the first to admit it. I don't know, you know. I guess that's one of my edges, that I have no reason to be right. I have no need to be right. I only want to be correct, And if someone can show me I'm wrong, then I want to know it. This is, by the way, a bullish formation happening over here. This is a descending wedge and a breakout to the upside. That could lead to a nice big move here on the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. You could also see that it is in a massive uptrend. That's something to keep aware of. However, today, right now, we're being rejected by that resistance. We also got horizontal resistance. Is that enough of a move here that you could be interested in taking that trade? I think so, right? Nevertheless, I also love when you can play things on both sides, meaning, well, if you're wrong here and you break out to the upside, that's a clear breakout of this extremely bullish pattern. So New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Canadian dollar, looking good. New Zealand dollar. There you go. That's what I should put in my Twitter profile. I am just a observer of price. New Zealand dollar. I love it, Kips. This is setting up super bullish over there. That is a beautiful descending wedge in a beautiful uptrend. That is a very bullish formation in the longer term, developing and very clear. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. Also here, it looks like it's potentially breaking out over here right now. You can see the trend line, the breakout into resistance coming in for the retest, a resumption over there. That's possible. Conflicting signs, in my opinion, between the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. I want to clean this up. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. All right. This is also at a pretty important inflection point. I see the New Zealand dollar on the move. I get a feeling the New Zealand dollar is on the move. Migs, I only trade during the London session, and adjust those orders as New York opens. Yeah, we looked at real Rafa, by the way. Rafa, 20, tied Federer for 20 Grand Slam wins. They're both tied at 20. We'll come back, Hockey, and look at Bitcoin in 1 second. We're almost finished here with me doing my homework. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. I feel like the New Zealand dollar is on the move over here. By the way, you notice that the other bearish formations we saw on the Japanese yen, New Zealand dollar not participating, has not been participating, not breaking out. This support over here is a big level, and as long as we're above it, we got that bullish tint over it. This is a big trend line over here, going back all the way towards 2015. Now challenging the upside of it. Interesting, the conflicting signals I'm seeing on the Japanese yen between various different pairs, which I am seeing. All right, what about New Zealand dollar, US dollar? And again, by the way, US dollar pairs are not in play for me. Maybe the Australian dollar, US dollar. And I'm avoiding New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I'm avoiding the euro, US dollar. Is this a sell signal right here? Is that a sell signal right there? I mean, it is a sell signal. Is that something that you want to take? It's pretty good local resistance right there. I like it. I like it in the fact that my risk, I would use a really tight stop loss over here. I would be using a really tight stop loss over there and it's a really good risk to reward over there. Able to move my stop loss right over there, protect it. This one is actually one that is the most interesting for me right now. Let me come back to this in 1 second. I'm almost ready to place an order. Oh, let me come back to that in 5 minutes. Check it out again. All right. Yeah, we'll look at Square. We'll also look at Bitcoin in 1 second. US dollar, Swiss franc. See, that's the challenge. I don't know. This area right here now, right? This is holding as support now. I see a very mixed picture on the DXY, and I can't tell whether we're breaking back into that channel or not. Very mixed signal on the DXY. By the way, if we are bottoming over here, you know, because we were watching this channel over here, no? We were watching that channel over there. A breakout, that's ugly though. A breakout above it right now. Is that a counter trend trade to take? That could be. Ooh, there's so much happening, and I need to really take further looks at it. Oof. US dollar, Japanese yen. Again, another piece of that puzzle. Is this getting ready to break below the support over here? And if we do, does that offer up a downside opportunity? I don't like it. There's so much going on today. I don't like it here. All right. So let me just go over a few different things with y'all. A cup and handle on the DXY on the 8-hour time frame. Is that a cup? You know, so again, from my analysis, Jordan's view of TA, Jordan's a cup and handle, you know, always the lid matches. Like the lid is this. The lid is, for me, is not up higher and then come down like that. So, but that is, boom, also beautiful. So the dollar is an interesting thing right now. Let's take a look at some things. First of all, let's look at Bitcoin first, and then we will look at next. Square was asked, and then I'll be able to go into the comments now that I've done my homework and be able to check out a lot of things that you guys are all interested in looking at, and and then I'm going to come back to the things that I am most have perked my interest, which was the US dollar, Canadian dollar, and a bigger look at the US dollar, Swiss franc. And we'll just take it as it goes. By the way, anyone listening here right now, still tomorrow we will not have a live session. I'll be traveling in the morning with my wife. There will not be any live session. I believe there'll be an afternoon update, but Friday morning I will be live with you all, any of you who are able to make it. All right. So I'll try to mention something again tonight. Yeah, we have to travel. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what the question was on Bitcoin US dollar, but I can say this morning that I said I got on the live stream, I looked at the equity markets, and then I jumped to Bitcoin. I said this looks like the best thing going on in the markets to me. Look, you've now resuming off of this, but you see that you're coming into that resistance. I don't care, right? Like why do I say I don't care? Like, yeah, that's resistance. We're looking to reclaim that level, right? There's not much else to say. Have we reclaimed it yet? No. Look, it's clear as day. Where it's so far coming into that resistance, right? Where, you know, how would you play this trade? First of all, the risk to reward on this trade is ballistic. Why? From a swing trader's perspective, I'm targeting the yearly highs over there. And if we break those yearly highs, this trend line over there, by the way, I'll make it brighter later, but there's a trend line right there. You know, that's what I'm targeting on a break over there, right? So where are you wrong on this trade? Where are you wrong on this trade, right? I feel comfortable about a pretty tight stop loss over here. A pretty tight stop loss. You know, by the way, let me pull up the true trend for 1 second. Right? So couple of things over there. So let's talk about this together. Let's walk ourselves through this really quick. The true trend is not giving me any type of guide right there, by the way. Targets on the upside, yeah, that's easy. But what about stop loss? That's the important piece over there. Now, you have a couple of different options, right? A lot of traders, they tend to really use tight stop losses. A lot of traders get stopped out almost exactly where they would put. I think a lot of traders would have a stop loss right there. Now, while this is, again, just the reason I like this was because I was looking at the breakout of the bull flag, caught into the first resistance, and then a test, and I like the resumption off. So I like that trade a lot. It's possible that a tight stop loss would work there, but I don't like it. I don't ever like it, right? Because I'm risking the same amount whether I'm using a stop loss to here, or if I'm using a stop loss below that last swing low, or if I was using a stop loss down here. Wherever my stop loss is, I'm still risking the same amount, right? I have massive upside potential over here. Now, I'm not going to use on this type of swing trade. I would not be like, I know I'm dead wrong if price traded down over here, but there's no way I would ever put a stop loss down there in this type of trade. I think over here, down below this peak over here, that's a really good safe area. I like that last low over there, which is below the trend line right there, like right there. If price trades below, what is that, 10,980? I'm wrong on this trade. Like, for sure that I'm wrong, right? What's my risk to reward, right? Just like, there's 1-to-1. Now I'm moving this up again. Two to one. Right? At it. By the way, that's where I would be moving. That's where I'd be moving my my stop loss to break even. I don't think that we stop over there. Well, maybe that I would take a good amount off the table into that resistance. A good amount of the trade, like a good amount meaning like 40%, a good amount off of that. But I would also be looking to push much higher. I believe once we take out this number over here, once we take out that number over there, Bitcoin's going to fly. Again, we're in the middle of October. I'm personally targeting 18,000 by the end of December. So anyway, that's my look at Bitcoin. And of course, that's completely different, a different mythology, right? Same basic concept, but mythology that we trade on Conquering the Markets, that we trade in the course, which is trading off of the 8-hour time frame alone, which is swing trading, right? This is a different type of situation because it is Bitcoin. So anyway, what else? We wanted to look at Square, right? Could I get a like, by the way, if you're new and just joining us? Could I get a like in there? But only if you enjoy being here. Only if you enjoy being over here. Yeah. TR, see you later. Wow, man. CG, that's a great exit. Bitcoin never made it to 20,000 though, yet. So listen, there's nothing to say about Square. So why do I trade on the 8-hour time? We're going to be looking at Tesla next. I trade on the 8-hour time frame. Real simple. I mean, there's many reasons. I'm going to try to simplify it down as best as possible. I trade the 8-hour time frame because I found throughout my career it's the most profitable. Now, this is coming from someone who used to trade literally the 3-minute time frame on the E-mini futures, right? And then I thought the 4-hour time frame was like, man, that's such I would never even conceive of trading such a large time frame, right? Then there was a period going back. Wow, this is over probably 14 years ago, where I was trading both for an extensive period of time, the 4 and the 8-hour time frame, right? And it's true, during the volatility of the 2008 crisis, right? During those few months, the 4-hour time frame was more profitable than the 8-hour time frame. It is the only time that the 4-hour has been more profitable during the 8-hour, and every other time the 4-hour is not. There's way too many false signals. There's way too much chop. And why the 8-hour continues to be profitable, the 4-hour does not. Now, during that same period, the 8-hour was extraordinarily profitable, but the 4-hour was more profitable. Now, the 8-hour, first of all, it really is a good filter for taking out market normal price fluctuation and chop, right? I'll compare it to the 4-hour. It gives a lot of false signals. The 8-hour filters out a lot of those false signals. It also happens to make your life really easy to be able to trade and have a high quality of life because you don't need to sit in front of the computer all day, right? We have 3 times a day, 24 hours in a day divided by 8 is 3. There are 3 sessions in the day, Asian, European, and North American, right? Which accounts for all of those. And I only trade during the highest volume periods. So that leads me making not only I'm doing it because it's the most profitable, it also affords the highest quality of life. And we'll just leave it there right now. Let's like Square does not. There's what else could I say? First of all, Square. What where do I begin? Right, because we're huge fans of Square. Way back over here, only because that they have centered their business around Bitcoin. There's nothing else to say. Not only that, they have now recently took a small position in Bitcoin. I think it's only $5 million, $50 million into Bitcoin, and it is a small position compared to their balance sheet. But listen, the hardest position to take is the first one. That position will increase into Bitcoin for sure. So Square is making more than half their revenue off of Bitcoin purchases. Even during the crisis, right? You think Square point of sale, retail is down, restaurants are down. How is Square making any money? They had record profits. That was all because of Bitcoin purchases. It's going to continue. Look, the PE right now is probably something around, someone could check, but I would gather it's around 264. You know, do you want to buy Square up here? I mean, I don't, you know, but you know, this is just going parabolic right now, and it's just a beautiful company with a bright future. That's all I could say. What about Tesla? I was very clear on Tesla that for the record, I would not take this trade because it was too difficult for me to see, right? Now, I don't know if this was in the live stream yesterday or in the training session, but we looked at it hard and I said, yeah, you could see it or I could see it. We have the break of the trend line. We have the retest and they're now resuming off. I said, it's a buy signal, but I'm not taking it. You know, like I would not take it only because it's not clear for me. And also you all know that I was neutral. When I say it's not clear for me, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't take it. If it's clear for you, you should take it. Like, by the way, I'm arms around your shoulders. Like the whole point of this is for me sharing my analysis to help myself have clarity in the markets, and also the same for you. That could mean that my analysis gives you clarity that you agree with my position or not. That doesn't matter. I'm not saying, again, sometimes people are not clear. And that's probably my communication fault. I'm saying this is a buy trade over here. I simply am standing aside because I'm standing aside on the equity markets right now, waiting for further clarity after, you know, putting on some good trades on the Nasdaq and on the S&P. And I don't know what happens next. And I don't want to get involved until I'm clear. And if I'm not clear on the indexes, I'm not clear on any individual stocks. That's all, right? Here we go. Silver, yeah. Once the precious metals get going again, you could get back into silver, for sure. But you know, you got silver right now is just in a consolidation pattern, right? Massive bull move over here and massive consolidation pattern. Guess what? It's getting ready for another massive move. I mean, come on. It's a bull market. 2021, we're going to see, you know, higher prices. Is now the time to take a position on silver? No, from a swing trader's standpoint, it is not, right? Gold getting ready first, right? Gold will break out first. If gold breaks out, right, the trade is on gold. Silver then will play catch up. Silver gets above 26, and then it's got a lot of clarity towards that yearly high over there. Lucas, thank you. Thank you, Lucas. Can you tell me where we see you made a Mr. B? Just watch the video. It's on the Bitcoin playlist. I think it's the most recent video on the Bitcoin playlist. The next one will be how I think the best way to trade the bull market phase. But in that video of the prediction, it tells exactly why I'm coming to that conclusion. All right, Mr. B, on the Bitcoin playlist, the most recent video explains exactly why I came to that price prediction. I don't have any type of price predictions, including gold on silver at all, or on any other instrument whatsoever, right? At any time ever. Bitcoin's different. Well, Bitcoin is coded math. It is different. There are reasons for it. Nice, Sam. All right, where are we looking at today? Good session, by the way. I've enjoyed it very, very much. So let me smash that like button over there, that thumbs up. Listen, I won't be with us, Jordan. What do you think about scalping? Yeah, so scalping, by the way. I mean, I used to scalp at the beginning of my career, and I used to think that, you know, the reason I did it was because I felt the more trades I make, the more money I can make. It's not the case. You know, today I make a few trades a week, and I'm way more consistent and way more profitable. Trading off a higher time preference, whether it comes to trading and or investing, you know, the higher your time frame preference, the more chance of success. Of course, this is all assuming you already understand risk management and trade management, position sizing, the most essential things of trading. Take the course. However, you know, scalping, man, it's highly intensive. You need to have incredible focus, and you know, I would say about if you take like a good group of traders, you know, it's only the top 1.5-2%. Don't scalp. Timmy, get them up in the air. Thank you for that, brother. I think all you need is the pro, the first upgrade, right? Is to have the 8-hour charts. Yeah, we went through every single one of these pairs today. So do rewatch the live stream then. We went through every single one of these pairs today. By the way, for my own benefit, I want to look here at the US dollar, Swiss franc. Let me just dive in a little bit over here. I want to look at the dollar, right? I mean, it's clear. So first of all, today we've added this trend line over there, right? And not only did we add it, we went ultra deep into explanation of why. But however, that is the new resistance. There's no question about it, right? Hey, listen, it's an ever evolving game. Have we fallen back into this channel though? This bigger channel over here. I mean, looking at price, you have to say yes, right? However, I do know that largely factored into the DXY move today is the move on the pound, right? So I want to look at the Euro US dollar. The Euro US dollar so far is into resistance, right? So that's why I'm like, you see that I'm uber cautious about the move on the DXY because the Euro US dollar is not confirming that. The Euro US dollar here is bearish, right? It's breakdown of the channel, retest of broken support, and if that's holding as resistance and we resume off, then I believe what is going to happen. The DXY is going to rise back up, right? So I'm cautious. Now, if the euro is able to close above this resistance today, that would definitely make me more confident. And it still has that little bit of resistance to get back above. So really, until the euro is able to claim, and it's not too far away. It's what are you talking about? 35 pips, right? It's not too far away. But the euro really needs to reclaim this channel before I get really bearish again about the DXY. So with that in mind, I'm looking here at the US dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm seeing, but I'm not sold on the dollar. So even though that I see that this is a possible, downtrend, sell resistance, that's a good bit of local resistance right there. I see the rejection off of it this session. So I'm like tempted by it, but I'm not sold on the dollar. What about the US dollar, Swiss franc? So again, almost the same exact thing that I just looked at on the euro US dollar. So keep this channel in mind right now. Keep this resistance in mind right now. Now invert that in your head and you could see that same channel. So I'll draw it in for you. It's not as clean as it is on the euro US dollar, but it's that same channel, right? And by the way, there's the outer bank. So this is in the channel and we're kind of off the support. So like the US dollar, Swiss franc, and the euro US dollar are really not confirming that weakness on the DXY. So is that clarity for me? Yeah, it's really clear to me that I'm not clear. It's really clear that I'm not clear. So lower the trend line in the euro US dollar. But so I could lower it to there, right? I could lower it to there. That touch, which gives me that touch, which is, by the way, thank you for telling me that, because I always give broad strokes there. That's cleaner, right? That touch to that touch. But yeah, that's just a rejection of that resistance. So we need to go a little bit further there. They're not participating. I don't know. We've just been juggling a lot, between I'm not in any rush. I'll be in more of a rush when we break. I'll tell you right now, I'm not in a rush yet because everyone is positioned well into Bitcoin. I'll be in more of a rush once we take this out over here. Once we take out this resistance over there. Once we take out this resistance over here, which is also that once we get past here, we're going to start flying. As we take out this resistance, I'll get to that. I'll make sure that video is done if it's not before. And it might be, I'm traveling tomorrow. If I'm able, I might be able to do it tomorrow. But I'm not in a rush until we break above that level. Once we get into that level, then I'm going to be more motivated to do that because then it'll become much more important. Right now, it's not. Right now, everyone is has accumulated a position for that run. So there you go. All right, everyone. It was a good session, man. Thank you, Mr. B. Thank you, man. I did too. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you all for being here. And again, I won't be here tomorrow morning, but I hope tomorrow afternoon. I definitely hope to keep you all updated. And then Friday, I'll be back live for sure. If you want to get updated when we go live, there's a link below in the Telegram to a Telegram broadcast channel that we could go ahead and if you sign up, you'll be alerted whenever we go live. Yeah, Chi, we looked at all of them. Australia. Oh, not Chi. Thanks, my brother. Eric, we looked at all of them. If you want to go back and watch this live stream, we looked at every single FX pair today. And yeah, this is on my mind. Australian dollar, Japanese yen is definitely a ride that I see coming, and it's on my radar big time. Thank you, brother. Thomas, thank you very much. Thank you for that. Kenneth. Marcel, I missed your first. question over there. But yeah, I trade indexes, not individual stocks. Adrian, there's a link below to this course description below. It is, well, hold on, Adrian. I'll talk about it more later, another day. But Adrian, there is absolutely, if you like what you're learning here, if you like what I do, and you're interested in increasing your, like getting a trampoline jump start, your understanding of the markets, being surrounded by a great group of people, there's a link below for my training program. We looked at the US dollar and Canadian dollar twice today, Daddy George. Just pull back on the live stream. It's at the end of the list, so if you go find out where we're going through the FX pairs, it's at the very end. Thank you, Sam. Jane. Darius, thank you. Yeah, yeah, you guys all, you know, shared mutual passion. It's awesome. Thank you, Gemma, very much. Absolutely, I will have that afternoon video. I'll try to remind everyone in that video that I will not be around for the morning session tomorrow, but will be Friday. Thank you, Shade. Thank you, brother. I'll miss you all too, you know that's for sure. Awesome. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. Thank you for being this nice light, this huge positive influence. I really appreciate all of you and everything that you share with me. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ron. Definitely very much. Thanks, Luis. It's, you know, man, I wish more people knew about it. I wish more people were here with us. And that's the thing, though, over time, right? It's like the people that are meant to be here, they find us and they stick with us, just adding to the overall community that we have. It's awesome. Thank you, Eduardo. Ron, thank you. All right. Thank you, bro. Thank you. God bless you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll speak to you in the afternoon, and I'll see you all again on Friday. Thank you, Eduardo. That means a lot to make us be pumped up. Could I share my Bitcoin chart? I could try and share it for you. So I could give you this look first. And then I'll come down over here to the 12-hour. And I'll give you this look. And then I could try to just do this. And hopefully this works. But I don't know if that will. And try to share that chart with you. Is Bitcoin dumping? No, I don't see Bitcoin dumping. I don't see Bitcoin dumping right here, right now. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day, and thanks for sharing.